Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us in today's activity and webinar. My name is Alanisa Makagan of the ICT Literacy and Competency Development Bureau of Region 10, and I will be your host for today. So I hope all of you are well rested and ready to listen and apply the things that we will learn for today's webinar. So the DICT through the ILCD have been conducting a nationwide upskilling initiative to empower teachers, learners, and non-teaching staff. So this webinar is one of the many that we have prepared for all of you. This webinar is also in partnership with the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines. First, let me acknowledge the following divisions of the Department of Education who are presently here today. So we have the Division of Cagayan de Oro City, the Division of Misamis Oriental, Division of Camiguin, Division of Singoog City, Division of El Salvador City, and the Division of Ligan City. So good morning po sa lahat ng mga guro. And thank you for spending your time here today. Also, let's acknowledge yung mga registrants ng ating webinar. So we have Doña Josefa F. Memorial School, Iligan City National High School, South 1A Central School. We have Tipanoy Elementary School. Just to name a few, I think there are a lot of representatives from different institutions. So welcome to today's webinar. So let us begin with a few preliminaries. Let me just discuss siguro yung house rules. So first, we would like to request everyone to put your microphones on mute while our future speakers presenting. Also, for those who have not renamed Zoom account, please rename proper names so we may address you properly later. Also, this webinar is being recorded, and you may opt to turn off your camera during the entire presentation of the webinar. But we would request you to turn it on during our photo later. If you have questions, feel free to send them to our channel and wait to be acknowledged by our host and technical team. Also, to claim your e-certificate, you will have to answer the knowledge check form near the end of the activity, and the link will be shared. Later. Also with me is the ILCDB team led by Rosemary Emano, and also my technical host, Miss Cristel Lumugda. All right, so before we begin, let's have a short prayer.
Let us pray. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful, our sustainer, our guide. Truly grateful for this to gather together as a community despite the challenges we face each day. Yet, you remained and gave us strength to carry on the responsibilities of intelligence and using them for better purposes. We now humbly ask you to join us in our endeavor that in whatever we learn, we become more grounded, who is truth, who is love. We pray that you bless our speakers with your infinite knowledge, that they can share something despite the limited time we have. They can channel and share to us the beauty and truth. At the end of today, we can take home something that's amazing and meaningful. We pray that you guide our participants, the seekers of their boundless knowledge, that they may continue to persevere in the search and be worthy to share what they'll learn from today's session. Let us be for truth, knowledge, and strength. May we honor one another, glorify you together, and inspire the world to be better. Amen.
All right. So
So
to
formally
formally open this
open this
webinar,
webinar,
let us hear from our
let us
young
hear
and
our
energetic
young and energetic
director of Region
director
10,
of Region 10,
who is
here
this
with us
morning to give
this
us a
morning to give
message.
us a
So let
message.
us
So
welcome
let
our
us
ever
welcome
supportive
our ever
director,
supportive
City
director,
Rama V.
Director City
Alawi.
Rama V.
Virtual
Alawi.
clap, please.
Virtual clap, please.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Al.
Al.
Can I be
Can I be
heard?
heard?
Yes po, loud
Yes
and
po,
clear.
loud and clear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maayong
Maayong
adlaw sa
adlaw sa
tanan, no?
tanan, no?
Pleasant
Pleasant
day.
day.
Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum.
alaikum.
We
We
at the
at the
DICT Region
DICT
10
Region
are
10 are
happy and
happy and
grateful that you all
grateful
took the
that you
time
all
to
took the
participate
time to
in this
participate
webinar.
in this
So,
webinar. So,
your DICT
your
10
DICT
held a
10
number of
held a number
webinars
of
last
webinars
year.
last year.
Among them
Among
are
them are
one on
one on
innovative online
innovative
teaching
online teaching
strategies,
strategies,
two on
two on
setting
setting
positive
positive
perspective
perspective
among
among
teachers in
teachers
the
in
new
the new
normal,
normal,
and
and
three
three
on
on
creating
creating
graphics
graphics
using
using
Canva.
Canva.
So
So
expect that
expect
for
that
the
for the
remaining
remaining
half
half
of
of
2022,
2022,
we
we
shall
shall
stay
stay
true to
true
our
to our
promise
promise
to
to
bring you
bring you
more
more
of
of
this
this
free and
free
relevant
and relevant
resources that will help
resources
you
that will
in
help you
shaping our
in
youth.
shaping our youth.
So online
So
learning has
online learning
established
has
itself
established
as a new
itself
norm,
as a
and
new
for some
norm, and for
people,
some
it has
people, it
even
has
become a
even
part
become
of their
a
daily
part
work
of their daily
routine.
work
No?
routine.
So
No? So
integrating ICT
integrating
skills
ICT
and digital
skills and digital
technologies
technologies
into our
into
learning
our
will
learning
help
will help
and develop
and
and
develop
aid
and
our
aid our
learners
learners
develop
develop
the
the
skills
skills
they
they
needed,
needed,
such
such
as
as
critical
critical
thinking,
thinking,
problem
problem
solving, and the
solving, and the
ability to
ability to
collaborate.
collaborate.
So as modern day
So as modern
educators,
day
we must
educators,
explore
we
and
must
comprehend
explore
the
and
digital world
comprehend
in
the
order to
digital
empower
world
our
in order
students.
to
So
empower our
we've invited
students.
local
So we've
speakers who are
invited
an
local
expert in their
speakers who
own
are an
field
expert
to
in their
provide you
own
with
field
knowledge,
to
to
provide you
help
with
you
knowledge,
adjust
to help you
in this new
adjust in
normal.
this new
And in
normal.
line with
And
this,
in line with
we
this,
at the
we at the
DICT 10 would
DICT
like
10
to
would like to
express
express
our
our
humble
humble
appreciation
appreciation as well
to
to
all our
all our
partners in
partners in
training for
training for
accepting our
accepting our
invitation
invitation
and to
and to
share
share
your
your
knowledge with
knowledge
our
with our
beneficiaries.
beneficiaries.
So
So
today's
today's
topic
topic
will
will
teach you
teach
on
you on
how to
how to
identify
identify
the
the
aspects of
aspects of
information or
information or
stories
stories
that
that
need
need
a
a
deeper
deeper
look,
look,
what questions
what
to ask,
questions
and
to
where to
ask,
seek
and
for
where to
some of the
seek
best
for some
resources
of
to
the best
confirm
resources to
information.
confirm
So I sincerely
information.
hope
So I
that the
sincerely hope
discussion and
that the
lectures in
discussion
this
and lectures
webinar
in this webinar
can be applied
can be
effectively
applied
in your
effectively in your
respective school
respective
and
school and
workplace.
workplace.
And we
And
hope
we hope
that
that
this
this
session will help you in strengthening your ICT skills and eventually aid you to a smooth transition to a new normal. So thank you once again, no, for joining today's webinar, and we hope that you will learn new insights this morning. So stay safe, continue to be stay safe, no, and God bless everyone. Back to you all.
Thank you, Director City, for that inspiring message and reminder. And we appreciate your time. I know that you have an equally important event later on. So I think this is about time that we request our participants to turn on their camera for a group photo. And with us to assist in taking the group photo is Miss Christelle Faith Lumagdang, who is also our ILCDB training specialist.
Alright, so kindly turn on your cameras. With me, I have 4 pages, no? So I would like you to hold your smile for a little bit. Alright, for the first page, in three, two, one, smile. Alright, for the second page, in three, two, one, alright. Third page, hold your smile in three, two, one. Last one. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Miss Christelle, for your assistance. Okay, so let me introduce our guest speaker for today. Our guest speaker for today is none other than Mr. John David O. Mokanda of the Department of Technology Communication Management, University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines. And he has been our partner in training since the start of the Digital Teachers and Learners Program. So Mr. John has talked on several webinars related to communication, one of which last year is managing and organizing social activities or events under the new normal, and spot check, critically evaluating information on social media. So the DICT 10 is glad that we have him again as our guest speaker for this program. So let's all have a virtual clap, inviting Sir John to take the floor.
All right. Good morning, everyone. May buntag. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat, especially na to our participants, to the teachers, my fellow teachers, and as well as to the DICT. Thank you for having me once again no, for this webinar on fact checking. May I share my screen, Ma'am Lenisa?
Yes, Sir John.
Okay. All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, once again, good morning, everyone. Today, I hope that we'll have a productive no, session. We'll be talking about something that's really, really important these days, no, because of a certain phenomenon that's happening. So let me start with this screen, with this slide. This was, I think, last year, no, if my memory serves me right. So one of my mentors in the fact checking mentorship program that I was in shared with me this photo, and this photo with the caption, if you can see it on your screen, it says here, "Nang makita ko ito, hindi ko mapigilan ng umiyak." Imagine 5-year-old girl, nag-iisang sumasakay sa ambulance dahil positive siya sa COVID para dalhin sa PGH. Nakikiusap ako sa lahat, mag-ingat po tayo, hindi lang po kayo ang magkakasakit, manghahawa po kayo. So this was a post by a certain Jojo River. He posted this August 12. I think this was last year, no, at 2:32 p.m. So in summary, no, you can see that there's a small being about to hop into an ambulance. No, the post says that it's a 5-year-old girl who has been infected by COVID-19. And if you can see at the bottom of your screen, in terms of engagement, this post got 49,000 react. So dalawang reactions lang to, may umiiyak at merong parang niyayakap, no, as an expression of care na sa bata dahil siguro naawa sila sa bata. Imagine a 5-year-old girl as claimed by this post. It's a 5-year-old girl na papuntang PGH. So if you know what PGH stands for, it stands for Philippine General Hospital. So patungo daw yung bata, yung 5-year-old girl sa PGH, no, para magpa-check, no, dahil siya ay may COVID-19. But then other than the react, you also can see here that there are 13 comments, and then this post has been shared 41,000 times already. So imagine the vast reach of the post, no? Imagine the vast reach. Imagine ilang tao na yung na-reach ng post na to, ilang tao na ang nakabasa ng post na to. But then, when I fact checked this, it turned out that the claim was actually false. All right? No? False ang photo na ito. It's not about a kid, no, in the Philippines, but actually I found out that this photo was actually taken in Vietnam. All right, not in the Philippines. Probably some of you have seen this photo, no, before. But then, yeah, when I fact check this, it's actually not in the Philippines. So this isn't a Filipino kid, but it's actually a Vietnamese kid, and we are not certain as to like whether this kid was really infected with COVID. But then one thing for sure that I found out is that it's not in the Philippines, but it's in Vietnam. And how I did it, we will learn it later. How I fact check this, we will learn it later. So again, welcome to our session for today. I called it Spot the Red Flag, Basics in Fact Checking. So when we say spot, no, alam natin to. When we say spot, parang we're trying to find out no the red flag. And when we say red flag, it means something that is to be alarmed about kasi something's wrong with it. And in this case, in this context of our webinar to this day, it's on the social media platform, and we'll find out later on why social media. So to be specific, our objectives for this morning include number one, describe the media landscape in the digital age. No? So I want our participants, my fellow teachers. Now there are, I think, 80 of us no, in this platform. I want us to describe no, the media landscape in the digital age, and then as well as explain no fake news. So if you can notice, I put it inside quotation marks, no, yung term na fake news, and we'll find out later why uh, why I place it no inside the quotation marks. So explain fake news no as a challenge for the civil society. So that includes us, no, the teachers, no, that includes us, no. Why is fake news a challenge for us, no, in this digital age? And another objective that I'd like us to achieve together is to compare and contrast these terms, no, misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. All right. And then another objective is for us to enumerate no, at least three common false claims. And then number five, enumerate details that need to be verified or checked no, in an information on social media. And then number six is to demonstrate the basic steps no in fact checking. So ito po yung mga objectives natin this morning. I hope that our teachers no are ready na for our session this morning. So if you guys are ready, can you please send a thumbs up, or can you please show a thumbs up na on your screen? All right. Thank you so much for participating. So I can see that there are a number no nagta-thumbs up. Thank you so much for your participation. Just to check on you whether you're still there and you are listening. Thank you so much now for participating. Now, moving on. Um, to start, no, let's describe the online media landscape or the social media landscape. Ano ba yung nangyayari ngayon? What's happening? No, number one is that there's an overwhelming amount of information. I know that you will agree with me on this one, that there's actually an overabundance no of information. No, in the morning when we check our social media accounts, no, we are being fed no with a lot of news and information. No, just this morning, I don't know what you guys have seen. I was up no up even at the wee hours of the morning, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and I saw a lot of information and news. I saw a video of a certain political figure who lost no in the presidential race, and then she was uh, she was accused no, of being lutang. I don't know if that video was manipulated or correct, but then I raised opinions about that video. So many things that we have read, we have seen this morning, no, and marami pa, no. There will be more of this, no, as the day progress. So another a concept that's related to that one, no, in terms when we talk about overabundance of information, is what we call infodemic. No, infodemic. So the term infodemic actually is a portmanteau. It means that it's a combination of two words. No, so these words are information and then pandemic. So especially during the time of COVID, no, at the onset of COVID, there were so many information about it. So, and then in the same way that there's been like an acceleration and the speed of information, no, spreading around the social media sped up, no. Ganun din yung pagka-viral ng virus na COVID-19. So there is a similarity na between the spread of information online at saka yung spread ng COVID-19 na virus, and it became a pandemic, right? So, and then they coined a term infodemic to mean that there's just too much information, and part of this information are information that are not true, no, spreading around or on digital platform and environments, and these happen, no, especially during the outbreak of COVID-19. So this is a term, no, infodemic, um, to mean again that there's too much information during the time of the COVID-19. So another thing about the digital age is that there are new technologies to create and widely share information, no? So meron tayong mga TikTok, meron tayong mga mga Messenger at saka yung iba pang mga apps na where we can disseminate, no, information. Another thing is that as the presence and the existence of these new technologies make it possible, no, for the again acceleration of the distribution of information, at saka yung internet at saka social media make it actually much easier not to select only the information that supports our pre-existing beliefs. So we have to understand that, as human beings, as individuals, when we go to the social media, log in and scroll up, scroll down, we actually have already our existing na mga beliefs. And then we engage, we have this tendency to share, to like, to react with information that, appeals to us. And it appeals to us because it somehow confirms and it somehow is aligned with what we already believe. No? And then because of our engagement, no, social media is reading us actually. It knows what we like, it knows what we don't like. And of course, because it knows what we like, it feeds us more of the things that we like. All right. And so that's what we call not the algorithm, not the algorithm. So social media is somehow trying to read us. No, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie The Social Dilemma, but then yeah, it tells us that actually Facebook is trying to read us, to understand us, like of the things that we like, and then it gives us of the things that we like. No, the challenges that are brought upon by this current state of the social media landscape are this. No, number one, because of an overabundance of information, right? Now there's an overabundance of information. The effect of it is that we find it difficult actually to sort out reliable from the fabricated information. So reliable, no, sa Bisaya, makasaligan. So we have this tendency to find it difficult which one is actually true and which one is actually not true. When we say fabricated, yung kanang gihimo-himo lang, right? No? So which one is true and which one is not true? So we are caught in that dilemma, no? And then another challenge as an effect of the current state of the media landscape is that there's actually information that looks like it's from an authoritative source, no, and it's spreading around. No, it looks like parang galing siya sa credible na source, but then actually when we try to investigate on it, we might find out that it's actually not coming from a legitimate source, right? And then number three, another challenge is that there's actually a conflict between speed and accuracy. Now, and then that conflict has actually escalated. Kasi, people parang gusto nila ng instant, 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 even in information. So kaya kahit na hindi accurate, sinishare, they are engaging with information that actually might not really be true. No? And then another challenge is what we call the confirmation bias. Ito po yung sinasabi ko kanina na we have an existing belief already. No, meron tayong mga pinaniniwalaan, and then dahil meron tayong mga pinaniniwalaan, we tend again to engage only with the things that we see on social media that is aligned with what we already believe. And the effect of that actually is this. Now, if you can see it on your screen. Now, what do you see on your screen? This is us. This is us right now. No? In this present state of the digital age, no? This is us. Ikaw siguro tong babaeng nakatayo na nakahawak ng isang cellphone at saka nasa loob ka ng isang bubble. They call it the bubble, or we call it the information bubble. No? We are imprisoned inside our own bubble. Now, ikaw siguro tong babaeng nakaupo na may hawak na laptop, and you are in your bubble. And the effect of this one is that it's making people polarize. Now, we are apart from each other, imprisoned in our own bubble, and that we have this difficulty viewing what others view. So the more that we are inside our information bubble, the more that society becomes polarized and divided. So hindi siya surprising na nag-aaway yung mga BBM at saka yung mga Lenny. Dahil of course yung mga BBM, they only tend to engage with things that are about BBM. And then yung mga Lenny people, they tend to only engage with things that are about Lenny. And then the more that we engage with these things on social media, the more that we become, situated inside our information bubble. And then again, as an effect, it polarizes people, it divides people. All right. So this is a challenge. Now, this is a challenge. So what about information? Let's talk about information. Information actually is a basic human right. No, it's constituted now in the Philippines, in the context of the Philippines, Article 3, Section 4 of the 1997 Constitution. It encapsulates the freedom of expression. May kalayaan tayong mag-express, maghayag ng ating sarili. At saka part of it is like the right of the people. Now, our right to access information, to receive information. No, so it's actually a basic human right. And what should be the criteria of the information that we should be getting and we should be receiving? Now, alam natin to, ABC, no? ABC. So it stands for accuracy, no? Balance for B, and then completeness, C. No? ABC, accuracy, balance, completeness. So yung information na dapat nating matanggap, it has to be accurate, tama, may evidence. No? So if it is a quote said by someone, it has to reflect the accuracy that really that person said this. No? And it's free from any distortion. No? It's free from any changes na hindi naman pala niya sinabi pero pinalabas dun sa social media na ito yung sinabi niya. Pag ganun, hindi na accurate yung information. No? So the criteria, again, it include accuracy and then balance. So when we say balance, it has to include all of the sides, all of the points to make it balance. No? It has to be balanced, no? Covering and representing the sides, no? Of a certain issue. And then another is completeness. So same, no? It has to be complete, that nothing has been left out. All right, no? That it's not manipulated. It's not short, and it's not over. But it's really what it's really the complete picture. So we have to remember this, no? Our right to information. It's a basic right, and the information that we should be receiving, no, it has to be accurate, balanced, and complete. Now, where do we get our information? Right? Now, where do we get our information? Among these four, you can see these four on your screen, right? Where do you usually get your information? Okay, let me have a poll or a survey, a quick survey. Anyone, please, you can chat it on the chat box. Where do you get your information? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Most of the time, where do you get your information? Okay. Thank you, ma'ams and sir. Okay, four. Maraming four. Okay, alam ko na yung pinaka number one source of information natin. And I check actually the age range of the teachers who are here na as participants. I think most of us here, or most of you, are 19 to 30 years old. And yeah, I've read a report recently that actually in this age range, they get their information mostly from the new or the digital media. And that's true. Meron din tayong traditional media, of course, na yung radio, yung newspaper, yung TV. These are all part of the traditional media. But then right now, during the digital media, there's a concept we call the broadcast convergence or the media convergence. So that means na yung yung radio na alam natin noon or na alam ng mga grandparents natin noon is actually now being converged with the online media. So you can now actually listen to, say for example, Bombo Radio online. I think they have an online radio, no? So that's what we call the media convergence. So there's a meeting, there's a convergence between the old medium and then the new medium, and it's on the internet na platform, right? Meron din tayong mga digital copy of the newspapers. Philippine Daily Inquirer, for example. 'Di ba? So hindi lang sila limited sa yung hard copy ng paper nila, but then they also digitize it and then put it on the internet, so for people to see online their newspaper. So meron din tayong family conversations. Pero even the family conversations, meron na tayong mga group chat, right? Sa family natin. Last week, I was in Camigan to spend time with my relatives in Camigan. And then, I realized that, we have to have our own group chat. So I asked my cousin to create a group chat for our family, my mother's side. So even, everything now is like being moved to the online platform or to the internet. And meron din tayong mga community influencers. Pero even our community influencers, they have their own Facebook pages to better serve the community, right? And then, of course, number four, we have the new and the digital media. So I think when we talk about digital media, our mind almost always automatically think of the social media, right? And then when we talk of the social media, I think our mind thinks about Facebook, correct? Am I correct, no? Pag sabing social media, agad-agad Facebook. Pero hindi din nagpapahuli yung TikTok. Sino ba yung may mga TikTok dito? Mga moms at saka sirs. Nagti-TikTok din po ba kayo? 'Di ba? So TikTok at saka meron ding YouTube, right? So meron ding YouTube. Now, according to the Digital News Report 2022, this came out early media, particularly Facebook as their source of information, right? Meron ding sa TikTok, no? Nagkukuha ng kanilang mga balita. Okay? So at saka meron ding sa YouTube, pero I think number one dito yung Facebook. Pero sa mga younger na mga generation, yung tinatawag nating Generation Z, yung tinatawag nating mga Generation Z, ito siguro yung mga students. Yung students ko, I'm teaching in the college level. They are part of the Generation Z. Most of them get their information from TikTok, but more on Facebook. That's according to the report of the Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism. All right. So now, another study that I've stumbled upon when it comes to the reliability of the online news is this done by one of my colleagues here in the department, Dr. Locson, with his students. They try to find out whether the teachers in Cagayan de Oro, the public school teachers in Cagayan de Oro, find the online news reliable. No, makasaligan ba? So what did they found out? And the respondents are teachers. They found out that these teachers are actually aware that not all news websites that have FB pages are reliable. So not all are reliable. And then they also found out that they are familiar. These teachers are familiar with Facebook pages that are satirical in nature or blogs with propaganda. Now, if I may share a bit about satirical or satire. Satire is actually like a legitimate expression. It's telling us of somebody's opinion, but then done in an exaggerated manner to make it entertaining. No? And I think especially for Filipinos, we are like an entertainment loving kind of people. 'Di ba? So it somehow appeals to us. But then unfortunately, because not everybody is aware of this one, they have the tendency to believe this no, as something that is true when in fact it's just satire. So what satire pages do now on Facebook is that they label their Facebook pages and their publications with satire so that people will know that it's just actually satire. It's an opinion of something but then packaged in a manner that is something that's laughable and entertaining and exaggerated to the point na hindi na siya totoo. Pero parang may pinaparinggan. Yun yung satire. Pero minsan, again, yung iba, they tend to believe that actually what this is true. No? So doon na pumapasok yung problema ng false information. And another thing that they found out is that they have not read satirical or propaganda news. No? And they have not subscribed or liked news websites that they believe to be satirical or propagandistic, but they're just actually familiar with these FB pages. And they cannot distinguish a legitimate FB page of a news website from satire or propaganda site. So meron tayong mga legitimate na mga sites ng news and information coming from legitimate media organizations such as, for example, ABS-CBN or GMA or TV5. Ito yung mga legitimate na mga media organizations. But then, the teachers cannot distinguish the legitimate from the illegitimate. By the way, this study was done like, a long time ago already. So I think it's worth, duplicating the study now in the present context. No? So another thing that they found out is that as a form of verifying, the respondents actually determine the original sources of the information that they've read online. So yung tanong ko this morning, are you like this? Do you determine who the source is of the information? Okay, that's a question that's worth pondering. Now, number two, they compare the information with other news articles. No? And then number three is that the longer that these teachers stay online, the more that they read news online. And then the more that they read online news, the more that they become vigilant and they become in identifying hoax or not true from what is real. All right. Now, so um those things those things underscore the phenomenon and the challenge, the problem of what we call fake news. All right, you call it fake news, right? No, you call it fake news, but then actually the term fake news is a wrong term because it's an oxymoron. No, para yung sa mga English teachers natin dito, you know what an oxymoron is, 'di ba? Part 'yan sa tinuturo natin no, sa figures of speech yata, 'di ba? If I remember it right, no? So yung oxymoron, it's like contradicting itself because when we talk about news or information, news information, it cannot be fake. It has to be true. It has to be something that's verified, right? So one of the things that I'd like us to learn this morning is that we avoid using the term fake news because it's an oxymoron. So ano ba yung tamang term na dapat nating gamitin to refer to information that is false? So you can see on your screen No, it's a Venn diagram. I think this is what we call the Venn diagram, where we can see the overlapping, no, of mis and the malinformation. In the middle, you have the disinformation, and this one is actually representing the disorder, information disorder. No, may hindi tama, parang it's a chaos of information online. No? So, ano ba yung tamang term na dapat gamitin? So, the information can either be misinformation or disinformation and malinformation. So, ito lang po yung parang legitimate na mga technical term referring to the information disorder that we have now in the digital age, right? So, ano ba yung disinformation? But I'd like to focus on the dis and the mis. All right? Ano po ba yung let's start with the misinformation. No? If you can see on your screen, na ito yung degree of falseness, and then on your right side, the intent to harm. No? So ano po ba yung misinformation? Yung misinformation, ito po yung wala siyang intention to share something that's actually erroneous. No, siguro si ma'am, no, siguro may isa na si ma'am, no, hindi niya na check na yung yung age ng birthday celebrant is actually wrong, pero na-share niya, pero it was not her intention to deceive someone, but it was just really an honest mistake because hindi niya na-check, right? So yung mga ganun, right? So it's a misinformation. So the intention is less compared to the disinformation. Yung disinformation talaga, it's something that has been fabricated and deliberately, parang kana sa Bisaya, gituyo yun, no, pag manipulate ang content, giusab yun, right? Ang content, the format can be either video or text or audio. So gi-manipulate, giusab to make it appear as such when in fact lahi siya, iba siya, 'di ba? And then the intention to harm is higher compared to misinformation. So I don't know if you have heard of troll farms, yung mga taong binabayaran, no, para maging to produce content that is false, no, so it's either to for political interest or to harm somebody's reputation, and pinapalabas nila dun sa social media. Yung malinformation naman, it's using true information and really to harm somebody's reputation. So mataas yung intention to harm using an information that is true or an information that should have been something private. Right? So ito po yung tamang mga terms na dapat nating gamitin. So let's avoid using the term fake news, but it should be just either misinformation, hindi sinadya, mali siya pero hindi nasadya na ma-share online. Yung disinformation, mali siya tapos yung intention to harm is really high, sinadya siya. Tapos yung malinformation. So, why do we share false information? Why do we share false information? Kasi it confirms our bias, no? It confirms hindi naman lahat ng panahon na yung lahat na pinaniwalaan natin ay tama. Meron ding mali, pero and then you stumbled upon something that is in line with what you believe, and even if it's false, then you shared it online, right? And then another reason is that because it triggers our emotion. Now, what I have learned, no, in my readings about false information is this. Okay, listen to this. If something that is surprising, very very surprising, and if it's something that triggers your anger na emotion, take note of those kasi baka, no, siguro false information yan. Yun yung mga tactics and strategy actually ng mga trolls. They tend to create something that triggers our anger, and it's something that surprises us. Now again, if it appeals and if it hits those emotions, now you have to be self-aware kasi baka there might be a chance that that information is false. So you better fact check it before sharing it online. Another is that the lie has been reiterated that it becomes the truth. 'Di ba? Sabi nga nila, the lie spreads faster than the truth. And then, if it keeps on circulating and eventually it becomes the truth and then people believe it, right? So yun. At saka, dahil it's just really an honest mistake, no? And it's because satire and because of political motives. That's why people share. Now, during the COVID-19, all right, I hope that you guys are still with me. Okay. During the COVID-19, it was found out that there are four na categories of false information in relation to COVID-19. So there were false information in relation to where the COVID-19 comes from, how it spreads, and how people are responding to it, and symptoms and treatment. Okay? Symptoms and treatment. Kayo din po ba ay nabiktima ng mga false information in relation to the treatment of COVID-19? And I think it's pretty understandable because people were uh, becoming hopeless and that they wanted, because COVID-19 really has affected us. It changed our life, no? uh, you know, the restrictions at home, di ba? It was like, a sudden change of the way things uh, are. So that people, would want to go back to the normal. And so they were really, trying to find out like what really is the cure, right? No, for COVID-19 kasi gusto na nilang ma-stop ang COVID-19. So isa sa mga na fact check ko is ito. Siguro you have read this in your chat box, no, either siguro sa family nyo or sa mga katrabaho nyo, no, at work. So there was this forwarded messages, no, sa group chat na says na ito daw yung cure that the World Health Organization has actually approved of a concoction of a cure na sa COVID-19. So it's a mix of a pepper powder, 2 teaspoons of honey, a little ginger juice taken for 5 consecutive days, and that it can eliminate the COVID-19 up to 100%. So ito yung claim ng World Health Organization approve of this concoction. Okay? And then it will eliminate 100% of COVID-19. So this is the claim, excuse me, this is the claim of the post. But then when I fact check this, actually the World Health Organization did not approve of this concoction. Okay? Well, this is not disrespecting, our belief of like, yung mga, ako, umiinom ako ng honey, di ba? Pero to say that this was approved by World Health Organization is wrong, because like when we check the website of World Health Organization, there was never an approval of such mixture, and then there was never a scientific study that says that this will eliminate 100%, 'di ba? 100% talaga. Now, there was never a study on this one that it will eliminate COVID-19 100%. So again, when I fact check this, I found out that this is actually false information, right? It's a false information. So, baka sabihin nyo, ma'ams and sir, na wala naman sigurong masama kung i-share natin yan. What do you think? Masama ba or hindi masama? Wala naman sigurong masama kung i-share. Ha? Ano sa tingin niyo po? No, wala naman sigurong masama kung i-share. Pero remember, no, the people have the right to accurate information. And information is important, isn't it? Information is important. We base our decisions on the information that we read. And then, most people go to online. So that is why we really have to be careful. No? We really have to be careful. Nakakasama ng loob daw, sabi ni Ma'am Cyril. Diba? So we really have to be careful with what we share online. And will this session on fact checking matter to me as a teacher? Diba? Is it relevant, and is it relevant to me as a teacher? Correct. Ma'am Shira here. Thank you so much for the participation. No, sabi ni Ma'am Shaira, let me read her comment. Teachers must uphold truthfulness. Ika nga, honesty is the best policy. So sharing false information contradicts the value. I really like that, Ma'am Shaira. Let me capture it na if it's okay. No? So as teachers, 'di ba, we have to be peddlers of the true information and not the false. That's part of our job, right? Hindi natin tinuturuan yung mga estudyante natin kung yung mga peke na mga information, 'di ba? So we have to teach them with, like, what's the truth, right? And the correct and the accurate, the balance, and the the complete information. Sabi ni Ma'am Arlene, pwede siguro i-share if you tested it. 'Di ba? So I think when you say, Ma'am Arlene, na tested it, like when you fact check it, so an information that is unverified, hindi pa na test whether it's true or not, can be shared. But then let's be careful by labeling it probably with something that says na siguro na unverified, so that people will be aware na, oy, hindi pa to final or hindi pa to proven to be true, right? Yeah, so it can also mislead people, no? Sabi ni Ma'am Hedelisa. So thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. This is why MIL, or the Media and Information Literacy, is really really important today. What I know, what I know is that, again, everyone, regardless of whether you're professional or not, we have this obligation to the truth. Before, yung mga journalist lang yung nag-gatekeep. Sila lang yung nag-determine kung ano yung mga information na dapat ipalabas. And they have these news values that are guiding them in determining which information should be published. But then today, everybody seems like, they are journalists. Everybody has access to the information, to social media, and everybody has actually the power to create content and information. And we don't know who this everybody is. This could be a kid, this could be somebody who has not gone to school, this could be somebody who has a bad intention in mind. So that is why, in the same way that everybody has access and power to create content, everybody also should have that sense of obligation and to be responsible of what we put out, what we publish, and what we create. In the light of being good digital citizens, we have to be mindful of the things that we engage with online and the things that we put out online, because knowing that, people might believe it, people might use it, diba? People will engage with it, share it, no, online. So that's why we have to be media and information literate. Part of being media and information literate is to evaluate the information, whether it's true or not. And the exercise and the practice in doing evaluation of the veracity or the truthfulness of the information is like what we call the fact checking. And this is part of gatekeeping. Now, pag sinabi nating gatekeeping, okay, si mama, for example, si mama, siya yung naghahanda ng pagkain. Stereotyping, no? Meron din namang mga dads na nagpe-prepare ng food. Pero yeah, no? Either parents prepare food for their children, food to be served on the table. So these parents, or the parent, determines what is to be served on the table for their children to eat. Say for example, breakfast. So parang ganun din, no? Yung nagdi-determine ng food or information na ihahain. Before, it's the journalist, but then now everybody already has that obligation, everybody is accountable. So we are thankful, no, for the ICT for a session like this, because we are reminded of our obligation and our responsibility, that even if we are not a journalist, but we are teachers, right? And then we are social media consumers and even creators. They call it prosumers, not to mean that you create and at the same time you consume, but you have that responsibility 'di ba? To gatekeep, like what should be put out there. So if it's something that is false, okay, I will not share it because that's harmful. Pero if it's true, okay, sige, let's put it out right there. But again, there are also pros and cons of this. But then let me highlight the practice of fact checking. So when you say fact checking, it's determining if the statements in a not if statements are true or not, 'di ba? So what are the criteria? No, what are the criteria? So it has to be a statement, no? Like you ask yourself, is it a statement of fact? 'Di ba? And then is it relevant and is it doable? So if it meets this criteria, then that claim is worth fact checking, 'di ba? So that's worth fact checking. And then there are actually common false claims. So these are now the categories. Now you might want to screenshot this. There are claims that are related to death hoaxes. For example, I think itong Miss Universe Myanmar, I think this she's a Miss Universe contestant from Myanmar. May balita about her that namatay na siya. More recently, if I may use a recent example, I think some of you have read na namatay na daw si Chris Aquino. Meron ba kayong nabalitaan ganun? No? We know that Chris is like yung health niya is in a bad condition. So merong I think lumabas na balita na namatay na daw siya. Yung mom ko yung nagsabi sa akin no nagbalita sa akin. But then I told her, is it true? Where did that information come from? Where did you read it? 'Di ba? Pero then I found out that it's actually not true. Right? So merong mga ganon, mga death hoaxes na pinapatay nila yung tao kahit hindi pa namatay. Meron ding mga imposter sites pages tulad ng ganito. Meron ding tinatawag nila na true story pero wrong yung context. Okay, wrong yung context. So when we talk of the context, we talk of like the situation and then the people involved. So those could be like ingredients. This could be like the context. Totoo siya pero wrong yung context. Meron ding mga false quotes, yung sinabi ko kanina no na ah, sabi ng post or ng claim na sinabi niya pero actually hindi pala niya sinabi, 'di ba? Meron ding false claims in meme pages. Okay? Meron mga ganito. Meron ding mga false claims in comments. No, yung sa mga comment section. Meron ding tinatawag natin ng mga misrepresented images. No, na ginamit ang isang image and then parang it was placed in a particular another photo, and then our mind would think that this photo of a person is related to this one, 'di ba? Kasi pinagsama sila. So you would think that this is there have to be a relationship between these images. Meron ding mga false superlatives. I think ito yung mga most yung mga ganun biggest, yung 100% talaga, just like what that claim that I fact checked earlier na I shared with you earlier. Meron ding forwarded messages, 'di ba? Uso to, 'di ba, yung mga forwarded messages. All right? So we have to be careful about these forwarded messages. Okay. So please take a screenshot of this, everyone. No, you can screenshot this. No, what are the details? All right, what are the details? We are already nearing to the end part of my presentation this morning. What are the details that need to be fact checked? Okay, you have to fact check the names. We have to fact check numbers and statistics. We have to fact check dates and incidents, addresses. No, you have to fact check that. Nakakatawa. I remember now, parang natawa ako kasi nung lumabas yung check ko na photo of that 5-year-old girl claiming that it's in the Philippines, that girl going to the PGH, the Philippine General Hospital. Nakakatawa lang kasi merong dun sa mga nag-comment sa fact check article ko na parang sinabi niya na so ano ngayon if it's Vietnam, the point Sabi niya, the point here is that kids are getting infected already uh, with COVID-19. And that photo came out at a time when actually there were already cases of kids getting infected with COVID-19. And I think it started somewhere in the Visayas region, no? So parang timely yung paglabas ng claim na ganun. So parang they didn't, that person I think didn't, it doesn't matter to him whether it's the post is claiming to be, that it happened, no, in the Philippines, or that kid is from the Philippines. The point is that kids are getting infected. Pero when we come to think of it, the claim is actually wrong, because actually it's not in the Philippines, but it's in Vietnam. Di ba? So saying that it's claiming that it's in the Philippines is wrong, because we have proof and we have evidence it's actually coming from Vietnam. So we also have to fact check the superlatives, yung mga more, most, yung mga percentages and all, the statements, di ba? And then the photos, the videos, article, video thumbnails, website or URL, no? Yung mga website addresses, and then real account or page names. I hope that you guys have already taken a screenshot of this one. This will be useful later on during our workshop. And the URL, when we talk of the URL, merong mga fake URL at saka meron din yung mga real na mga URL. How do we know there are indicators? So yung mga fake URL, they are imitates a URL of they imitate URL of legitimate news organizations. Again, there are legitimate na mga news brands, no? Yung mga established na mga news networks. Merong ganun, 'di ba? Again, during the recent na report ng Reuters, I think yung number one na news brand, yung number one na news brand in terms of the trust of the people is GMA. It's a combination of television, newspapers, and all that. I think GMA, and I think we can understand as well na yung ABS is parang nasa bottom, at saka yung Raptor nasa bottom. And I think we know because they have been recipients na of like attacks coming from the state. So but then going back to the fake URL, no, they imitate the URL of legitimate news orgs. Questionable yung spelling. Okay, that could be also an indicator. Questionable yung spelling. And then yung mga domains are uncommon, such as .today or .xyz or .ml. No, so ito po yung mga examples ng mga fake URL. Pero yung mga real URL, they make use of the proper domain, such as .gov.ph, .edu.ph, no? And then they're spelled correctly. So ito po yung mga examples ng mga proper domain spelled correctly. So you have the nha.gov.ph, nytimes.com, news.abs-cbn.com, pep.ph, and gmanetwork.com/news. Meron po tayong online tool to know whether the registration date of the website. So you can go to whois.com/whois. So for example, merong lumabas na URL. Ganito po yung pagka-spell niya. GMA to your left. Look at to your left. To your right, sorry. Now GMA-N3WSUPDATES.xyz. Okay. Wait lang po. I'll charge my laptop. Sorry. Okay, there.
Okay, so we'll just wait for a couple of minutes for Sir JD to join us. Thank you po. Okay, so while waiting, I think Sir JD's computer is restarting. So I hope everyone is well rested, no? Later, there is a workshop, so we would love everyone to be actively engaged later. And I hope that you have done a screenshot of the slides that was presented earlier for our presentation. Yes, we will ask for Sir JD to provide us the screenshot. If you are working or joining in a group session in a meeting room, so you can probably uh, do the workshop as a group in that room. For those who are online, later we'll have a breakout session of 5 rooms, so please be ready to be engaged in our workshop.
Hello, good morning. Sorry,
Morning.
ma'am. Sorry for that.
No problem po.
Okay, sorry. My apologies. Okay, anyway, may I continue?
Yes, sir. Before that, they would like to get a screenshot po of the previous slide where kung yung saan po yung nakalagay yung names and statistics.
Yeah. Okay, can I present my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry for that, everyone. Um, Parang na-disable yata yung screen sharing, ma'am. As na L. Ganito po yung pagka-spell niya. GMA to your left. Look at to your left. To your right, sorry. Not, okay, there. I can share already. Wait lang po ha. Let me uh, share my screen to continue. Malapit na po tayo sa exciting part. Okay. Can you see now my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, ano yun? Parang icebreaker. Icebreaker. Okay. Wait ha, it's still loading. Okay, there you go. So to continue, so you can use the who is, no, to determine whether a URL is legitimate or not. If you notice, no, uh, when was the hoax or the fake URL registered? If you can see on your screen to compare, no, yung Hawks na URL is, registered just recently, 2020. Pero we know that, GMA network has already been existing for a long time. So so we can expect na matagal na siyang na-register. So it actually what was registered 1997, 'di ba? So between the two, no, parang paghihinalaan talaga natin yung itong 2020 lang na URL na na-register. 'Di ba? So that could be an indicator, and then you can use the whois.com. Now, how do we find proof? How do we find proof not to in our effort not to fact check a claim or an information? So number one is that you have to find the primary source. So what are examples of primary sources? So you have eyewitness accounts, yung nakakita talaga, yung text of laws and other original documents, yung speeches, diaries, letters, interviews. For example, yung sa speech ni just newly uh, elected na president, no? So baka kasi may maglabasan ng mga false information patungkol sa sinabi niya. So you can actually get a hold of, or like get a copy of the speech from credible sources, and then compare and see whether for yourself whether he really said it or not, right? And then the original research, that's also primary source, and data sets, survey data, photo, video, or audio that capture the event. So these are primary sources. All right. Now, another is you have to find secondary sources. So ano ba yung mga secondary sources? So somebody who got the info secondhand, or yung mga books about the topic, or analysis or interpretation of data. No? So this could be secondary sources. And note, ano po ba yung naka-note dito, sirs and ma'ams? Ano po yung sabi dito sa note? Ano po yung hindi credible na source po? Can you write it down on the... Okay, yes. No? So we have to be careful with the use of Wikipedia. Okay, because it's actually not a reliable source, because I think everyone can can edit the information there, and again we don't know who this anyone is, diba? So really have to be careful. All right, so Wikipedia is not a source. And the last way to find proof is to find corroborating evidence. Now, what other documents or previously established facts support or debunk the claim? Okay, ano po ba yung ibang mga dokumento na nag-i-establish ng facts that either supports the claim or debunks the claim? So finds corroborating evidence. Okay, there's what we call the practice of lateral reading. No, so it simply means, when we say lateral reading, dun sa pag nagagamit tayo ng internet, it actually just means opening new tabs. Okay, so that's what we call the lateral reading, opening new tabs. So for example, how do we do this? For example, this was the report March 10, 2019, by Rappler, and then it talked about Sara Duterte claiming that the law doesn't require the senators to be honest. Okay, now the question now is, did Sara really said that? Okay, did Sarah really say that na hindi daw, sabi niya in an interview na hindi daw requirement sa law ng senators to be honest. Now, if you do lateral reading, you might want to enter keywords such as requirements for Senate candidacy Philippines. So those could be keywords. Or another, you could write requirements for public officials Philippines. So that's another keyword, no? Or you can enter Sara Duterte requirement honesty senators. Okay? So when you pag-enter nyo, it will give you results of your search. Now, the results will tell you that there actually have been fact check articles in relation to what Sara Duterte said. No, so merong nag-fact check, and they labeled the statement of Sara as something that could be misleading. No, it could be misleading. So like when you open that article na nag-fact check sa statement ni Sara, then you will know why it was labeled as misleading. Kasi sa Constitution, actually nagsabi sa Constitution na it's actually a requirement to maintain honesty and integrity, no? So, and then another fact check organization sa Verifile said that, yeah, in Republic Act 6713, the Code of Conduct for Public Officials and Employees, it actually states that the policy will that the state have to promote high standard of ethics in public service. Pero wala namang sinabi na, wala namang ginamit na word na honesty. It's just integrity, loyalty. Pero I think we can say that integrity actually is, honesty, right? So this is just to demonstrate lateral reading, that you have to open several tabs, that you should not read like pababa, but you have to open several related tabs to find out whether, the claim is actually true or not. So ito lang po yung point dito, lateral reading. No, di tayo dapat makontento sa isang tab lang. Dapat maraming tab yung i-open natin in our search for the truth. 'Di ba? It's like investigating, no, researching. Now, when we open another tab to find out what 6713 says, then there you will find out that, it's actually, yeah, it says there that, public officials, just like the senators, have to be responsible, have to have integrity, competence, loyalty, with and all of those characteristics. So actually, honesty is part of the requirement, no, of being a senator. So yung sinabi niya, para siyang misleading. So if you're not quick, no, to think about it, if you're not critical, then you might, believe that, di pala siya requirement. Pero actually, the law says that they have to be honest individuals. Okay. No, so again, this is just to demonstrate the lateral reading na exercise. Now, how to find proof? So you have tools for verification. And what I will share with you this morning is the Google image search. Okay, so you have other tools, Invid, Web Archive, geolocation tools, and photo forensics. I'll share with you Google image search. So for example, okay, are you still with me, ma'am and sir? So for example, this photo, this was sent to you by your friend, because your friend also just, received this. This was forwarded to her. And then sabi ng friend mo, uh, this was, sabi ng friend mo, and this was forwarded by your friend May 9 during the elections. Diba? Sabi ng friend mo na, uy, besh, ang haba na ng pila, besh, sa precinct natin. No? May nag-forward sa akin ng photo na to, mahaba na pala yung pila, bilisan na natin, punta na tayo sa precinct para maka-vote na tayo. 'Di ba? So, forward niya to sa iyo. Now, if you are critical, you would ask whether this photo was really taken, in the precinct where you were supposed to vote. Ganito na ba talaga kahaba yung pila? At saka, dun ba talaga to kinunan sa mismong precinct where you're supposed to cast your vote? 'Di ba? So ganun dapat yung mga thinking natin, no? Yung ano natin, you have to be critical, ever questioning na whether it's really true or not. Now, you can use the Google reverse image search. Or before I introduce the Google reverse image search, you can also use the photo forensics. Yung photo forensics po, you can go to photoforensics.com, and then you can upload the file or the photo that you wanted to investigate on, no? And then sa photoforensics.com, it will tell you and give you an analysis of the photo. You can check you can choose the metadata. No, click that, and then when you click the metadata, it will tell you of the details, na the information about the photo. Say for example, the date that it was created, kailan kinunan tong photo na to, at saka yung other na mga details about the photo. So that's a tool, no, that we can use to determine the veracity of an image or a photo. You can also do a Google reverse image search, just like what I did with that photo of a 5-year-old girl. The post claimed that it was in the Philippines, but then actually it's not from the Philippines but Vietnam. So I used the Google reverse image search. Now, yung Google reverse image search po, it's just actually trying to find out the very first publication of a photo or an image, and then compare that to what the claim says, di ba? So when I use so let's go back to that photo that we used earlier, no? Yung mahaba yung pila, sabi ng ng beshi mo na ganun na pala kahaba daw yung pila. At sa it was okay, I gave a wrong situation. But let's say that was during during May, let's say May 24 yung pag-forward, not the election. So let's just change that situation. Pero anyway, going back to the Google reverse image search, no, pag-click mo ng na pag-enter mo, then it will give you mga results na where that photo came out, no, in which websites, and then you will just have to find the earliest, no, na time when that photo was when that photo was used and it came out. Now using that example to continue, then you will find out that actually that photo came out first May 19, 2021, and then was used, no, in an article in Philippine Daily Inquirer, and it actually is about the COVID-19 cases, no, in Metro Manila, 'di ba? In Metro Manila. So this was taken in a in a in a Metro Manila setting, no? So and then again, the goal of the Google reverse image search is to find out kung saan pa siya lumabas at saka kailan siya unang lumabas, and then you can compare it with what the claim is saying or what the post is claiming, no? And you'll find out whether it's true or not. All right? So, yun lang po siguro, no. Important is I have shared with you the details that need to be checked, and then I shared with you a simple tool that we can use, just like the photo forensics and then the uh, reverse Google image search. So I am now transitioning to the workshop part of our session for this morning. Are you guys ready? If you are ready, can you please type YES? Or if you're not ready, say NO or no in the chat box. Are you guys ready for the workshop? It's just a very simple workshop. Okay, thank you, ma'ams and sir, for participating. All right. Okay. Sige, keep it coming. YES if you're ready. If you're not, say NO. No. Okay. Now you will be grouped into 5. Okay, but later I'll give you the instruction. But before that, let me have a short parang ano lang to lighten up the mood. Na kasi parang heavy na yata yung nabigay ko kanina to all of you. So just to lighten up a bit, but this is also something in relation to fake news and fact checking. I'm teaching media information literacy, in USTP, and I'm also teaching communication and social media, and as well as digital activism, in USTP. And in one of my classes, I ask my students to compose a song about fake news, and then they made this song, and then they made the lyrics, and then as well as the melody of the song. So just to lighten up a bit, and then just to serve as a transition to the workshop, may I invite you to listen to the song, and then there's lyrics, to the song, and then you can sing along if you like. Okay, ready? Can you hear the audio? Okay, walang audio. Okay, wait. Ma'am Lisa? Do I have the control for the audio?
Yes, sir. When you click share,
Okay.
may option doon sa baba to
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
click.
Yeah. Okay. Let me wait. Ha. Okay. Here. Share sound. I think I found it. Okay. There. Okay. Let me try it again. Okay. Can you hear it now?
Yes, po.
Okay.
Bawal ang fake news dito, gusto namin yung totoo. Ikalat natin ang katotohanan sa mundo. Bata man o matanda, huwag tayong magpadala sa mga fake news na saan-saan lang nakikita.
Hindi lahat ng viral ng mapupulot na aral.
Sama-sama natin baguhin ang isipan ng lahat.
Fake news ay iwasan. Fake news ay iwasan.
Ugaling mag-fact check bago maniwala sa sinasabi nila, lalo na sa social media. Huwag tayong papadala. Spot the red flag.
Marami na ang nasasaktan,
Kaya fake news ay iwasan. Bawal ang fake news dito, gusto namin yung totoo. Ikalat natin ang katotohanan sa mundo. Bata man o matanda, huwag tayong magpadala sa mga fake news na saan-saan lang nakikita.
hindi lahat ng viral may mapupulot na aral.
Sama-sama natin baguhin ang isipan ng lahat.
Fake news ay iwasan. Fake news ay iwasan.
Ugaling mag-fact check bago maniwala sa sinasabi nila, lalo na sa social media. Huwag tayong papadala. Spot the red flag.
Marami na ang nasasaktan,
Kaya fake news ay iwasan. Sama-sama nating baguhin ang isipan ng lahat.
fake news ay iwasan. Fake news ay iwasan.
Ugaling mag-fact check bago maniwala sa sinasabi nila, lalo na sa social media. Huwag tayong papadala. Spot the red flag.
Marami na ang nasasaktan,
Kaya fake news ay iwasan. Fake news ay iwasan. Fake news ay iwasan.
All right. So that was a song composed by my students advocating for um, mitigating the spread of fake news. I think that was like a treat to our ears, na. It's the melody. I think is nice. But anyway, let me continue now with the sharing this morning. We will now go uh, to the workshop. Are you guys ready for the workshop? Okay, very good. We will be I will be showing first screenshots of yeah. I will be showing screenshots of actual claims or articles that have spread online. No, I'll invite everyone to take a screenshot because we don't know yet our team, ma'am. Ma'am Alno, we don't know our team yet, but later on we will be placed na in a breakout room. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So please take a screenshot na of the claims that I will be showing to you. Now, instruction number 2 is that each team will fact check the claim that will be assigned to you. So how will you fact check? So earlier I told you nga to fact check the details, no, those certain details, and then what could you use, no, or like what will you then act on, no, as part of fact checking. So by team, after that you have fact check by team, you will then have to go back to the main room and then give us a report, a brief report, a short report of what are the details that you need to fact check and what are the actions that you need to do to verify, no, the claim or the information. So identify the details to be fact checked and explain the actions to be taken. So assign na lang siguro somebody to report on your behalf or to represent your team. Are the instructions clear? Please show a thumbs up sign if the instructions are clear. Okay, I will now be showing to you the claims. There are 5 claims because there are 5 groups. So your group number will determine the claim that you have to fact check. Okay, so this is claim number 1. Okay, please take a screenshot of this. This is claim number 1. Okay, please take a screenshot, claim number 1. And then this is claim number 2. Okay, this is claim number 2. Now this guy is familiar to us, right? The presidential spokesperson, the previous administration. So please take a screenshot of claim number 2. And then you have claim number 3. So this is claim number 3. And then this is claim number 4. I think merong mga naka-receive nito sa mga GCs nila. Diba? This is claim number 4. Please take a screenshot of claim number 4. And then the last claim is this. Claim number 5. This is claim number 5. Okay? Now, I think we're ready not to go to our breakout room. Ma'am Al, may we now assign them to the breakout rooms for them to discuss?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you will be sent, how many minutes po ma'am that they will be staying in the breakout room?
I think depende po, sir. We can assign them siguro 10 or 15 minutes, or let's check at 10, and then pag they need more time, we can extend another 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. 10 minutes maximum 10 minutes. Ma'am, no?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So please join your break room now and then discuss no what are the actions that you need to take
Free po, ano siya, more than
Or
20.
dagdagan man din sila, ma'am.
Oo.
No? Yeah. Pero yeah, 5 claims lang yung na-prepare ko. Anyway, ma'am, maka-access man ko atong pre-test, no? I sent a request to access the pre-test.
Yung pre-test, yes po. May
Okay.
access po kayo, sir.
Okay. And then we will share with them the link to the post-test after this
Okay.
training, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Sige.
I'll turn off lang my camera kay medyo mababa yung yung unstable yung net sa school.
Sir John.
Ma'am,
Okay lang na i-broadcast ko na lang yung link for the pre-test.
pre-test po or post-test?
Pre-test. Yung post-test later pa po siya.
Okay, okay po, ma'am.
Sige po.
Ay, ma'am, ma'am, sorry. Yung yung pre-test, it's supposed to be before, right? The webinar started?
Opo. Pero hindi sila sumagot.
Okay. Hindi sila sumagot.
Oo. I think mga afternoon kasi siya na-send, so baka hindi na nila
Okay po, okay
sagutan.
po. Sige po, ma'am.
Sige. So post-test na lang yun
Pero
today.
it's the same content po ha? It's the same item with the post-test?
Okay. So same
Yeah,
lang yung answer.
yeah, same lang yung content po.
Okay. Sige, post-test na lang, sir.
Sige, sige, ma'am. Ilang minutes na lang po, ma'am.
Meron pa po tayong 5 minutes.
Okay po.
So some teams are not done yet, so they are requesting to extend. We'll give them until 11.
11 po, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. Automatic naman po yun, ma'am, na mag-close yung room.
Pag 11, I'll click lang the close all groups para makabalik sila.
Okay. Dala po muna ako ng toilet, ma'am.
welcome back. For the rest, I think they're here already. How was the activity, everybody? Kulang ba yung time or you need more? Hello. Let's just wait po for the others to rejoin. You were able to utilize the microphone, no, and the presentation during the breakout session. So I just realized baka hindi po na-enable.
Hi, ma'am.
Morning, sir. I think there are 96
Ready na?
here. Nawala po.
So we'll start now with the reporting.
Yes po.
Okay, sige. Okay. Again, we are now in the workshop part na, and we will be hearing from the representative of each team. So for if you're under room 1, I'm expecting na yung claim 1 yung finact check nila. Am I correct? Yung room 2, yung claim 2. Room 3, claim 3. Room 4, claim 4. Tsaka lastly, room 5, yung claim 5. All right, so are you ready to report? Just share with us briefly now what are the things that you need to, what are the details that you need to fact check, and what will be the action that you will have to check na to verify the claim. Okay. Parang may nagsabing, oops, si Ma'am Hedelisa. Ma'am, is there a problem po? Or you fact check the wrong claim? We thought the 5 picks will be checked. Okay. That's, going, kuan, doing more than what's expected. But, okay lang din po kasi para ma-compare din natin. Okay, that's okay po, Ma'am Hedelisa and team. Okay, same here. Okay, same din pala yung ano. Okay, anyway. Sige. So let's start with room 1. For the claim 1. Okay, let me show again the claim. So this is the claim. So it's a photo. It's a screenshot of a video. So it's a still image posted online. And then it says here, breaking news. Hospitals on lockdown as first COVID vaccine patients start eating other patients. And you will see that the location of this claim through a photo na format, it's in Los Angeles at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's broadcasted by CNN Live. May I have somebody from room 1? Anyone from room 1
Yes,
to represent?
yes, sir. Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Rajoy
Ma'am
M.
Aura.
Planas. Yes po. Rajoy M. Planas, Rosario Elementary School, Sag Central District, sir. So, wala man siguro nagtingog, no? First, sir, among one of the cast from the room 1, si sir na, ay, dili madunggan. Hello? Wait,
We can
madunggan
hear you
po.
po. We can hear you.
Madunggan, ma'am, madunggan.
Si Sir, one of the cast from the room 1 said that sa visual lang daw makita na nga it's fake kay dili daw siya dili man zombie daw nga ang sani ang COVID pandemic is dili daw zombie like. So na-discuss na mo nga yes, it's very true. So, but we need to use the application given to us. So, lisod me kay it's screenshot man siya, so we cannot get the URL. So, among gibuhat is we use the reverse Google image search. So, we type the important terms that that was given to us. We use the hospitals on lockdown as first COVID vaccine patients, CNN News. So pag-type na mo and then enter, nakita din na mo nga tanan na dayon kana nga picture showing the fake news. So muna to na conclude na mo the picture claim one is fake news.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ma'am Aura. I'll ask a follow-up question po. If in terms of the details that can be shown, that can be seen here sa photo po or sa image, what are the details that you need to fact check po to know whether it's true or not?
Yes, kuan sir. Start eating other patients na ba day ano? Sa kuan lang sa news pa lang sir nga start eating. Yes.
The statement itself.
Yes,
The
sir.
statement, okay, you can
Yes.
fact check the statement.
The
What else po?
photo.
What else po? What details can you fact check po?
What else?
The real account or the real account.
The real account where this
Where it
photo
took
was.
place.
Yeah, where it took place. So sabi ni ma'am is where it took place. Sabi ng photo, saan po daw to nangyari? Sa
Los Angeles
Los
daw.
Angeles. So what can you do kaya po to check whether it really happened in Los Angeles?
There is
Of course,
no...
of course hindi tayo
Hindi ka
makakapunta doon.
panipaniwala. Hindi ka panipaniwala.
Search
yeah,
daw yun,
diba?
search.
So that's one yeah, you can search, no? Kasi merong mga online na mga news organizations na based in Los Angeles, and then you can check whether these news organizations reported the same thing, right? No? Sige po, thank you Ma'am Aura and the team. So these are the details that we can fact check, no? You can fact check the image itself, no, itong photo na to, na it looks like parang it's in chaos kasi daw nagkinauna na, no, ang mga patients, ang mga COVID patients na himo ng mga zombie, no, and I think we've heard of this, no, before, no, mahimo daw zombie na magkinauna. So you can actually use do a reverse image search, no, sa Google sa photo na, and then what you can actually find out if you will really perform this, if we have the time to perform this really, you will find out that this photo was actually taken from like a television movie. Wala siyang teleserye ba? I just forgot the name of the teleserye sa US, pero gikan ni siya actually sa kanang salida sa TV dito sa Amerika. Ngayon ani ang scenario, ila din gi-screenshot, ila din yung gibutangan og ingon ani nga caption nga hospitals on lockdown, and then it then makes it appear nga murag mao gyud din ang nahitabo nga ang context kay sa COVID. Pero actually the context of this screenshot image, this still image, is not COVID, but it's a scenario, it's a scene in a television program in the US. If you will really conduct the Google reverse image search. And then another detail that you can fact check is, again, the location. No, you can Google no, online. You can search online. You can read news about in Los Angeles, whether naabay nahitabo ngayon ani nga panghitabo nga nagkinauna dito sa Los Angeles, because of course kung nahitabo gyud ni siya, this is worth news broadcasting, right? So i-cover gyud unta ni siya sa mga legitimate nga mga news organizations. Pero kung wala, magduda ka, basin og wala gid ni nahitabo, basi himo lang ni. So you can check the Los Angeles nga location. So you can check news reports if such an incident happened within the area. And another detail is you can check the news organization CNN kung naaba ni na file nga balita sa ilaha. So you can check online pod sa website sa CNN. Unsa kaha ang website sa CNN? I'm not sure basin og cnn.com. I'm not sure, you can check that out. And then see dito sa website kung naa ba gid ni nga balita dito sa ilaha. So those are the basic details no that you can check to know, to find out whether this really happened or this was just fabricated, himo-himo lang. Okay? Thank you so much, Ma'am Aura and Team 1. Okay,
Thank you po.
limang bagsak para sa Team 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Let's go now to the claim 2. Ito yung claim 2. Let's have somebody from room 2. Sino po ba yung representative sa room 2?
Hello po, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Who is this po speaking?
This is Ma'am Sharjay Valmoria po from Team 2.
Okay po. Take it away, ma'am.
So we all agreed to first fact check this using image search through Google. So yun yung ginawa po namin. Then we found out hindi siya masyadong naglabas ng but just similar images. But then we used keywords hierarchy 10,000 deaths in Google search, and then lumabas doon yung mga different articles coming from rappler.com that it is a false quote, false Rocky quote on 10,000 COVID-19 deaths published on August 31, 2020. So at rappler.com, and another article from verifiles.org also debunking the quote published August 17, 2020, and another website from pointer.org also saying that it is a false quote published last August 17, 2020 po. So conclusion, this claim 2 is false.
Okay. So thank you, ma'am. Yung ginawa po ni ma'am, yun po yung mga corroborating na mga evidences na ibang mga organizations or ibang mga sites na nag-fact check din nito, itong claim na to. You know, parang yun yung mga additional, mga nagpapa-strengthen no sa possibility na the claim is actually false, so mga corroborating. Pero if we will have to answer po the question on like what details sa claim na to ang pwede nating i-fact check, so I think you will also do the same na you can actually fact check the statement, yung sinabi mismo ni Harry Roque, 'di ba? You can fact check whether if he really said this or not. Yung quotation na pinapakita sa screen natin ngayon, yung sinabi niya na COVID lang yan, konti lang namamatay kahit umabot pa ng 10 million ang infected sa Pinas. Okay, so on and so forth. So you can fact check the quotation mismo. Now, how will you fact check that? You can look for mga press briefings, recordings. You can look for transcripts or news reports. Kasi 'di ba, of course, Harry Roque is a person that's popular because he's a spokesperson ni President Duterte. So, he will be, of course, be covered by the media organization. Everything that he will say, no, everything that he will do, I think that's newsworthy. And so you can check whether other media organization, just like what ma'am did, no, nang check niya, no, nga ang other nga mga media organizations kung nagsulti ba gid ani si Harry Roque. You can also go to social media channels that are verified, yung legitimate, no, na mga social media. And then you can actually, if you have access, if you have contact details, no, you can go to his office and ask his staff whether this statement was really made by Harry Roque himself, right? And you can also again do a reverse image search, not to match the image to what he said. Kasi 'di ba yung quotation and then coupled with a particular image, the image I think will I mean, like, most of the time I think ginagamit ng mga reporters is yung image of the person and in a particular situation where that statement was made. Pero meron ding iba na gumagamit sila ng mga old files or old images that they use, no, to go with a particular quotation or statement. Pero I think most of the time nililabel nila yan na nga kani nga photo is old image or old file, no? Pero you can also do reverse image search to know whether such photo, to know kung kailan to kinuha na photo, kung anong event that this photo was taken, and then the event when that photo was taken will give us an idea on like kung unsa ka ang posible nga gipang-ingon ni Harry Roque ug kung apil ba ni nga quotation ang iyang giingon during that event. So these are the details, no, that you can fact check: the statement itself, no, of Harry Roque, and then the photo that goes along with the quotation. All right, so you can fact check these details. Now, thank you so much, Team 2. Limang bagsak po para sa Team 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, thank you so much, Team 2. Let's go now to Team 3. From the room 3 to fact check claim 3. Anyone from the Team 3 to represent Team 3?
Hello, sir.
Hello, yes,
Good
ma'am. Good
morning po.
morning. Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So, for group 3, ang mga details to be fact-checked po ay yung source of information, yung source of graphics, at yung data presented in the image.
Mm-mm.
What we have done ay i-Google, in-apply po namin siya in Google reverse image, and we found out that false po yung claim 3, and that yung image has been circulated since March 20, 2018 pa po.
Okay.
Also, yung pong data na na-present is 73 degrees. Hindi po na indicate whether it is Celsius ba or Fahrenheit.
Mm.
So, one of our members found out na 73 degrees Celsius is too hot for a human to live.
Mm-mm.
Tapos, what we could do is lateral reading po on the lateral reading on the hottest temperature in the world, and specifically in Kuwait.
Yeah.
And also the temperature of the day when this claim was posted.
Mm. Yeah.
Tapos another member of ours suggested that we could check the site for facts of the information. Nag-provide din po siya ng link as to saan po namin pwedeng mag-check yun. Yun lang po. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma'am Shaira. Was it Ma'am Shaira?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma'am Shaira, and the rest of the team 3 for cooperating. So yeah, those are things that need to be, those are details that need to be fact checked, no, and actions that need to be taken. So more specifically, no, you can fact check the location, no. Your action could be check if that event really happened in that area. So here, ano po yung area na sinabi ng post? It claims that this event, no, having a very high temperature happened in Kuwait. So you can again check if that event happened in that area. So say you can look for legitimate news organizations that could have reported this newsworthy event, 'di ba? It's really newsworthy, 'di ba? Kasi it's one of a kind, and it's, this is very siguro kasi it's very very hot, sabi nga ni ma'am, and it's impossible for human being to to survive such a very high uh, temperature. So see whether legitimate news organizations in Kuwait, based in Kuwait, really reported on this one. And that could be a corroborating evidence. Also, you can check, yes, tama yung sinabi ni ma'am, no? You can check the number. So that's another detail, 73 degrees Celsius. Now, you can check with government official records. Siguro, pag dito sa atin, pag-asa, I think, di ba, sila yung nagre-report ng yung mga anything like weather related, di ba? So if they have that record, no? I don't know with Kuwait kung anong yung nagki-keep ng mga records nila in terms of the weather, di ba? Pero in the Philippines, I think that's pag-asa's responsibility. No? So or news reports if the figure is accurate. And then the photo, you can do a reverse image search, no, and then find out when this photo first came out and like what's the context, diba? And then if other websites, publish such photo and what's the context of the photo. Okay, thank you so much to our team 3. 5 bagsak para sa mga moms and sirs in team 3. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, thank you so much. Let's go now to claim 4. Anybody from team 4
Good
to...
morning po.
Good morning, ma'am.
Si Luz Biminda Binolhay po ito. Yung sa amin po sa claim 4, unang-una po fact check ang statement to know if legit ba siya nga promo, i-identify kung scam ba siya kay basin makahack o makakuha sa personal information. So gagawin, i-check sa Facebook page for further information, and then try to contact the manager or the supervisor or the highest position in the company of Robinson Supermarket. And then try also to ask your fellow people around you if nag-try sila, if yes, legit ba, if nahitabo jud ni na merong ibibigay na 1,000 na nagkakahalaga ng 1,000. Yun lang po ang napag-usapan namin.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Is it 1,000?
Ay,
or
ano po dito? 1. Ay, hindi 1,000.
10,000. Sana all,
1
no?
million?
May
10,000
po. Yeah, 10,000.
10,000 po.
Yeah.
Opo.
Ito yung claim na mamimigay daw ng 10,000 to win isang gift card na nagkakala. It's a gift card, no? Worth 10,000.
Opo.
Ng Robinson Supermarket in the celebration of their 40th anniversary. So this is the claim. But the question is again, is this true? Is this true or not? Diba? So ano po yung mga details na dapat i-fact check natin? Sinabi na ni ma'am yung iba, at saka yung ano yung actions na dapat natin na i-take. So you can fact check the name of the company, right? Now check if it's the official website or affiliated with Robinson Supermarket. Pero careful po tayo sa mga ganito kasi meron mga tinatawag nating nag-phishing, yung nagsisend ng mga links pero actually they're trying to steal and get your information.
Yes po.
Diba? So careful po tayo. Baka naman po it's a virus that will harm our gadget. So wag basta-bastang mag-click, right? No, so you have to be careful. So you can go to the legitimate website of Robinson Supermarket because of course, diba, a store like this, Robinson Supermarket, they have a official website, and see on the website whether they have the same claim na mamimigay sila ng 10,000 worth na gift card. Okay, so you always go to the official website. It's just forwarded na message, I think, no, sa mga GC or sa mga group chat natin. Pero again, careful. Wag basta-bastang mag-click. Baka virus o, baka it's just, something that's really, false. You can go to the website, and then you can also check. Another detail that can be checked is the number. Pang-ilan na daw yung anniversary ng Robinson? Sabi ng post na to, anong claim niya? It's the
40th.
40th. Diba? 40th. So, tama ba to? Diba? How long has been, Robinson been existing? Diba? 40 na ba sila? Or baka naman, diba, ibang number. So you can also check when Robinson was founded, and then, what's the supposed number for their celebration of their anniversary. So check the accuracy of the number. Is it 40th or not? So you can do that. You can also ask, yeah, tama yung sinabi ni ma'am, no, that you can also ask no personally or like call Robinson Supermarket to check the manager, to talk with the manager or anyone in the position to verify the claim. All right? Thank you so much, Team 4. Again, limang bagsak para sa Team 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're down to the last team to fact check claim 5. Anyone from the team 5 representative?
Okay, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Here. Good morning, everyone. For Group 5, in behalf of Group 5, for this picture, the first thing we did is to check, especially this is just posted in the Facebook. And then the date that was posted, July 7, 2020. It means that this July 7, 2020, we have here, because we have the Rappler also checked this one. There is already an omnibus guidelines released by the national government's coronavirus task force, only authorized non-contact sports. If you'll try to look at the post, July 16 grand opening ng lahat ng basketball court sa Pilipinas. Kung sasabihin natin lahat, from the word lahat, hindi mo, there is already a doubt kasi there are lots of Philippines is a big country and it has a lot of islands, and of course hindi lahat ang mga, and if you'll try to look at yung sa omnibus, I will just continue to read the omnibus guideline released by the national government's coronavirus task force, only authorized non-contact sports, therefore excluding basketball in areas under community quarantine as of July 2021. Only bubble type training and competitions are allowed. It means this news is already fake. And also, since 2020, the Interagency Task Force IATF for the management of emerging infection diseases through the omnibus guidelines of the implementation of community quarantines has only allowed certain non-contact. It means there are less, there's still rooms, or there are still places that are under quarantine or under hindi pa sila pwede sa mga ganito, especially it's still in the year 2020. Moreover, only athletic bubble type training and competition are allowed in areas under general community quarantine GCQ and modified GCQ as of July 2021. And the year it was posted is July 2020. According to the Joint Administrative Order released on June 28 by the Philippine Sports Commission, the Games and Amusement Board, and the Department of Health, athletic bubble type training and competition refer to sports events in isolated place where specific leagues, organization, or competing teams and athletes are expected to live and train under strict health and safety protocols. The purpose of a bubble camp is to hold sporting events without spectators to mitigate public health and safety risk. And of course, we have also done the photo forensic pictures in identifying the pictures is really real, and it shows here that yes, it came from a Facebook account wherein a group of basketball. That's it, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ma'am Chris. Na, Ma'am Chris man to, no? Okay, so yeah, thank you for that sort of like comprehensive no na actions that you need to take to verify or to fact check no this claim. So sabi ng post na to na mag-o-open na daw, grand opening ng lahat. So tama din po yung point na sinabi niya no na given that there are differences in the situation in terms of the COVID-19 na pandemic. So it seems that it's impossible na lahat sabay-sabay na mag-open yung basketball court sa Pilipinas. So what are the details no that you can fact check? So you can fact check the source. No, the source of these claims. The source of this claim is online identity name basketball. Check if this basketball na identity is authoritative. You can read the about section kasi 'di ba yung mga pages or yung mga profile natin sa Facebook meron yang mga like when it was created, about kung sino tong person na to or sino tong group na to. So you can read those information and details that will give you an idea whether this person or this group is authoritative. May karapatan ba silang magsabi ng ganito na claim, 'di ba? And then you can also check the date. Sabi dito July 16 daw yung grand opening. So, sabi ng basketball, quote and quote, na identity sa online, July 16 daw. Pero what does the government say? Because of course, the government being the authority, in managing the situation in relation to COVID. So check whether there has been an official announcement by the government, about opening of the basketball courts. Check the reports as well, the news reports by legitimate na mga news organizations or news brands. And then you can also check the source. Another source is itong sabi na Kabalen Hoops, 'di ba? Check if they're authoritative. So those are some of the details, that you can check to verify and to know whether this is really true or not. So again, 5 bagsak para sa team 5. Ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Thank you so much to all of the teams that participated for the fact-checking workshop. So that's basic na fact-checking workshop. So these are the references where I got this, information from, these things that I've shared with you. And that's the end na of my presentation. But before I turn it over to the facilitator, my last remark would be that everybody, each of us, has an obligation to the truth. So mapa-teacher, mapa-student, mapa-sino man na gumagamit ng social media, nag-access ng social media, nagpo-post sa social media, we have to be responsible, and good digital citizens. So we have to help fight, and mitigate the spread of information that is unverified. So we can do our part by fact checking. It's a tedious task, but then I think we can say that it's a rewarding task because we're able to lessen, the spread of this false information. And we know that, again, information is a basic human right, and information is a help, is aid. So we have to keep the social media platform clean and free from false information. So I hope that we have learned something valuable today, and that more importantly, that we'll apply what we have learned and share with our students in particular what we have learned today. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll give it back now to our moderator, Ma'am Al.
Thank you, Sir John, for that wonderful closing message. No, so also we've learned a lot in today's webinar. So also because we're about to end the session, let's just take this opportunity for our participants who have questions. Now is the time. If you have any questions, please you can raise or use your microphone or chat it in the chat box. Kung may tanong po na hindi pa clear, now is the time po that we can ask Sir John. Sige. Pag wala naman pong question, we think we'll proceed to the next, next slide. Okay. So wala pang nagta-type or naka-unmute.
Ako may tanong ako sa kanila, ma'am.
Okay.
Kung wala silang tanong sa akin, ako may tanong ako sa kanila. What do they think? Is fact-checking effective or not? Kasi merong mga, 'di ba, nagsasabi na hindi naman yan effective. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Is it effective or not?
It is effective, sir. It is
Why?
effective, sir, because even professionals have the tendency to share false informations.
Yeah, thank you for that, ma'am. No, I believe, no, personally, it might be like a very minute effort for one to fact check compared to like how fast false information can spread and how many are there, no, in on social media. But then, yeah, it's like a short term approach to fighting, but then I think, no, the long term approach really, in fighting against the spread of false information online is on education, no, educating. So that's why we have, uh, we have meetings like this where we educate, uh, people, everyone, regardless of like what their status, position, or rank is. Now, because again, it's everybody's responsibility. It's everybody's responsibility. So that's the short-term approach, no, educating. That's a long-term approach, no, educating, keep on educating people, advocating for it. And then also we have to remember also that partly, it's also the responsibility of the social media networks such as Facebook. They also have a part to play, because it seems like they are, incentivizing, parang kanabitang gina-incentivize nila ang false information. So again, they also have to be transparent, no, in their algorithms, and to really also take part in taking down false information. So once that information was labeled as false, then it has to be reported, and Facebook really has also to meet to lessen its presence online. So that could be their part as well. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir John, for for that question. Also, I think it's a good time to ask our participants about the things they've learned or some key takeaways that they would like to keep and share with our learners as well as in the workplace. So I think we have Ma'am Agnes, my comment siya. Very effective, sir. Everybody should be accountable of our shared information. Sadly, even professionals tend to share misinformation just for the sake of sharing. So thank you for sharing that comment. I think that's also one realization that we have in the workplace about sharing information. So, anyone else who would like to give their comments or reactions about this webinar, feel
I'd like
free.
to do a rejoinder with what a participant mentioned, ma'am. I don't know if you, ma'ams and sir, have kanang noticed and observed that once when we try to share something online, parang may nagpo-prompt sa atin na to read the article or to continue sharing. So I think that's also one of the mechanism of Facebook for us to be reminded that what we could be sharing is something false. So again, we have to read what we will share before we share it. We have to read so that at least we will know, and we have that judgment in mind whether this is true or not. So I hope that we really read what we will share, so that we can then decide whether this is worth sharing or not, or if this is something that is suspicious or not. So reading also is very, very important. Reading.
Thank you for that addition, sir. Also from Ma'am Sir Princess Jane. Fact checking is one key of being a responsible digital citizen. Since we are teachers, it must have practice. And from Ma'am Chris, our presenter earlier, thank you so much po, sir. Pwede po ba makahingi ng slides ni sir para ma-echo sa aming fellow teachers? Rest assured, the credits will be given to the right person.
Yeah, I will po. I will share it with Ma'am Makagaan po. Uh, I will share it again with her because my changes pa akong ginawa this morning.
Okay. So, ayan. So, anyone who would like to open their mic and video to share? Otherwise, we can proceed to the next agenda. Okay. So, just keep your comments and reactions coming, no? We'll compose it for our engagement in our social media pages. So also we'd like to provide this appreciation also to Sir John Moncada for being our resource speaker. So this certificate of appreciation, if I may read, is presented to Mr. John David O. Moncada in grateful recognition of his invaluable contribution as resource speaker for the webinar titled Spot the Red Flag, Basics of Fact Checking, dated July 5, 2022, held via Zoom, organized by the ICT Literacy and Competency Development Bureau of the Department of Information and Communications Technology Region 10, given this 5th of July 2022. Actually, the certificate is already signed by our regional director. Hindi ko lang mapalabas kasi na-prepare na po yung slide. So again, we'd like to thank Sir John for being our resource speaker. He will still be our partner in the succeeding webinars for this year, no? So we'll be sending an invitation to your division and your regional director or school heads for more upcoming webinars. So please stay tuned and always sign up in our webinar training. So to all our partners and friends, thank you for joining this webinar session. The link to the attendance / to claim your e-certificate is posted po sa screen. So we'll share the link later on. There is a knowledge check. 13 points is needed to pass. And everyone will still be receiving a certificate of participation. Just make sure to complete the entire evaluation form as well as the feedback form indicated on this link. So again, thank you to all our partners and friends and to our resource speaker. And we hope that you all have a wonderful afternoon and lunch ahead of you. Thank you po.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ma'am and Sir. Bye.
Thank you po. So by the way, the link will close at 5 p.m. today. So you have enough time to answer the assessment and the feedback form.